What's going on, everybody? Jacob Bartley here from Apocalypse Movies, and this is my movie watching challenge video from last week. I was challenged Heat. On Apocalypse Now, the Michael Mann film starring Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, and a bunch of other people that I had no idea were in this movie. This is kind of considered a classic among movie fans, and I had been looking forward to watching it for a long time. And finally, I was able to watch this movie. For those of you who don't know about the movie watching challenge, it is a segment on our main show, Apocalypse Now, that you can catch every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And basically, every week, one of us gets challenged to watch a movie that we haven't seen. Recently, we've been doing where 4 movies are chosen by the challenger, and we spin a wheel live on the show, and that's how the movie is decided. So go check that out. We do it every week. And yes, I was challenged to Heat last week, and wow, this is a great movie, a phenomenal movie, fantastic. I'm surprised I haven't seen it up until now because it's has such high caliber actors, and it's just one of those films that's kind of in my wheelhouse, and I'm glad I finally did watch it. So it's basically um a cat and mouse cops and robbers movie in a way, but it's a little bit more complex than that. So the one thing that everybody talks about when it comes to this movie is the diner scene between Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. And it's one of those things that even as a someone who's never seen the movie, you know about it as a movie fan. You know about that scene. And every time the hero and the villain, or I don't even know if you can call either of these guys heroes or villains. It's kind of like there's a lot of gray area when it comes to these characters, but the protagonist and the antagonist, every time that happens in a story, everyone refers to the scene in Heat between De Niro and Pacino. For example, in the last season of Dexter, Dexter and the Big Bad sit down and face each other, and it was an homage to Heat. And that happens a lot in a lot of just a lot of movies throughout time since Heat came out. So that's really cool that this movie is known for that scene and has kind of had an influence on cinema ever since then. So that's just awesome in its own right. This movie is directed by Michael Mann. I was looking at his filmography, and other than the ones I haven't seen, this might be his best movie. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people do think that. I mean, I haven't seen The Last of the Mohicans, so I'll hold off until I see that. But that movie's also on my challenge list. But as far as the movies that I've seen of his, I would say this is his best movie. It's intense. It honestly never gets boring. There's quieter moments between the characters behind the scenes, in apartments in houses, but then before you know it, you're in a action scene, a shootout scene, and the main shootout, kind of towards the end of the film, is incredible. It spans several blocks of the city. They're running around, there's cars, people everywhere, and that scene is very well done, and it's intense, and you're on the edge of your seat the whole time, and some of these characters you kind of have become attached to throughout the film, so you are worried that they're in danger. So I thought that was done very, very well. Some of the other casts in this cast is incredible. Like I said, Pacino, De Niro, Val Kilmer is one of the top leads. You have John Voight. You have a young Natalie Portman. You have Ashley Judd, Amy Brenneman. Just the list goes on and on. You have William Fichtner, and you have that guy who is like the insurance guy for I think it's for Allstate, or it's for one of them. I think his name's Dennis Haysbert, the gentleman who does those insurance commercials. Everybody's in this movie. It's crazy. And I just feel like, a lot of times when they have these huge ensemble casts, a lot of times recently, especially, it's very disappointing as a movie. Um, Look at something like, I don't know, like Gangster Squad or even Don't Look Up. I honestly thought that movie was a disappointment, even though it has a great cast. So just because a great cast doesn't automatically equal a great movie. But for this one, the movie's great and the great cast and performances elevated. So if you're interested in Heat, if you've never seen it, I try to be as spoiler free as possible. You should check it out. It's everything I mentioned and more. There's a lot of themes involved in it. There's a lot of character traits and character beliefs that are challenged by each character throughout the film, and they have to face those beliefs near the end of the film. And just watching that all unravel was great. So thumbs up. I know this was kind of chosen by the wheel, even though Jake submitted the film. So thank you, Jake. Thank you, Wheel. This is going to be one of those movies that I'm going to remember for a long time and that I'm going to watch again in the future and recommend to people in the future. Now, the next part of the movie watching challenge for this week, it has already been decided. We did it on Apocalypse Now earlier this week. I challenged Brian Avalosino, and he landed on Don John, one of my favorite films of all time. Brian said that he's going to be live tweeting while watching this movie. I hope that's true. So keep an eye out for that because that's going to be hilarious, especially if you've seen the movie. It's a little wild, I'm not going to lie, but I think it's a great film, fantastic, deep film. So we'll keep an eye out for Brian Avalosino's thoughts on Don John. Thank you for watching this video. That's going to do it for my review of Heat. Really loved it. So glad I watched it. Again, I am Jacob Bartley, and don't forget to check us out on Apocalypse Now this upcoming Tuesday. See you then.